it's about like have a composition and players that are able to do anything that they want. We can like do thousand of different plays. We can do baits. We can do like executions. We can do like good retakes. So this about this like to not limit our team because we feel like in this composition we are unlimited, so we can do whatever we want.
Hey guys, this is Pedro and I'm back with another interview covering VCT Americas Kickoff. I'm here accompanied by STK, the assistant coach for Loud, who are just coming off their qualification for Masters Madrid after they defeated Evil Geniuses 2-1 in the semifinals. And so, STK, like I said just now, congrats on qualifying for Madrid. How are you feeling right now with this accomplishment in mind?
I feel really happy because like in the beginning of the year we talked about a lot like making a long term project, like aiming champions. But see things like going really fast and we're like developing a lot. In the beginning of the tournament, the beginning of the year is really good for us. So we are like rushing steps. That's really good.
Yeah, did you feel that the team, for it to be able to develop so quickly at this point of the year, because of course we have a long year ahead of us, do you feel that kind of progression surprised you in any way?
Yeah, surprised a little bit because we are trying to like create a new loud identity, like the new compositions, the new like the way that we play like the play style in the server are changes a lot of the past year because like VCK and aspas has a really different like play style. So we are like adapting the whole team to make a new like loud identity, that's really good for the long term.
Yeah, of course, of course. We'll get to that in a little bit, but now I want to first touch upon this recent series that happened between your team and Evil Geniuses. Of course, the first two maps of the series went for both teams, but on opposing map picks. Of course, in Ascent, you guys selected that map, but then Evil Geniuses won 13-7. But then on Icebox, y'all returned the favor. And I just want to just start off by just covering those first two maps. Well, first off, what do you feel went wrong for Loud in that first map in Ascent and just having to go through that kind of stuff?
I think that we did a really good started really good on the T side. Like I think the game was 3-3, and then like in a eco they pushed us and make the things a little bit different, difficult. Sorry, and then they did a really good bench strat against us. So they knew that we were going to attack A lot, and they were stopping us. They have like two Ogins, something that we never see that before. So it was a really good strat. So that's why we have like a tough time of playing on attack. And then on CT, like we played kind of good, but we have like a small gap of to make mistakes. So like they ended the game like 13-7. So I think that we did a better T side half. We could like bring the game home, but they did a really good stretch. So congrats to them.
Yeah,
And
and oh, you want to?
And then on Icebox, like is a we something that's really good about our team is that we didn't show too many maps on this tournament, and we have a really good map pool. So it's something that they have no material against us. We are really confident on Icebox, and then was like more easy for us to play the game because their adaptation was like inside the game, so they have like nothing to do against our stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit on Icebox, and of course, EG was the team that busted out the Deadlock and Gecko in their first and only match in the group stage against G2, and then they showed it again against you guys. And so, what kind of challenges did that kind of present to the team when it comes to preparing against them for this map, and how were you guys able to just overcome them?
I think that's the deadlock utilities on B, like the wall and the alarms are really tough to have control there. So the stuff that we studied, like playing more slow against them and making their rotations a little bit like confused would be really good for us. So the deadlock is a really good agent in the beginning of the round, I think. And then once we break out their utilities, kind of being useless, so we like started to play around her, making her information about their utility and then go to other side or make their rotations like a little bit confused.
Yeah, and that then paved the way for the third map of the series in Sunset, where it was all the stakes considered. Winner goes to Madrid and loser goes to home, and just has to wait until April to try again and compete for an international land appearance. But two-parter question for this one. First off, what was the team's mindset when y'all um transitioned from the end of Icebox to Sunset? What was the preparation like? And also, how was the team able then to just beat EG in that third map and just decide the series?
Something that we did a lot on this past week was studying their vicious inside the game. So they have a really similar play style in all the maps. So we adapted like really quickly on this one, and we know a lot when they were going to go, where they are going to have control on the map, where they are going to execute. So that's why like we have a lot of stacks on the bomb side that they went. So it's about that. Like we knew their play style, like their identity inside the server. So in the first map, they changed it a lot. So that's why we have a lot of difficulty. But in the next two, they played like the same style that we already knew, and we saw on the VOD against G2. So it was like more more easy to adapt. You know.
And once again, we saw another instance of the composition, agent composition, as it relates to just the Phoenix and also double duelists and a pair of controllers as well. You know, it's a composition that you guys have just been using most of the time throughout this competition in kickoff. And what about this composition works for this team compared to the rest of the league? And I want to know from your perspective, what has been the preparation like in trying to discover and just work with this composition?
Like I said in the beginning, we are trying to like, get a new loud identity. So these compositions work for us, like make more sense in the stuff that we want to play. Like for example, in the functions inside the team, if a guy like wants to be more support or the guy wants to be more aggressive, so this kind of composition makes more sense for us. So we already tried like a lot of composition different. So that's why I think that it's kind of makes more sense for us. Like imagine football, we are have like two strikers, one midfield, and two like center backs, I think. So the composition is like made for this kind of stuff, you know, like to adapt each player to your function inside the game. Not only about initiator, duelist, or controller. It's more about uh, the characteristics that the play have, you know.
You mentioned about the identity of the team and how the team has been trying to figure out exactly what that identity is at this point of this year. Um, how would you describe the current identity of Loud, which enabled you guys to qualify for Madrid?
Think that this identity is about being like resilient inside the server, like to not being sad or anything about any map that we played. Because for example, we got like destroyed in the first map, but we came in a really good mindset. It's about like have a composition and players that are able to do anything that they want. We can like do like thousand of different plays. We can do baits. We can do like executions. We can do like good retakes. So this about this, like to not limit our team because we feel like in this composition we are unlimited, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, and as I mentioned at the start of this conversation, the fact that you guys qualified for an international land at this early point in the year, and I want to know, what do you feel has been the most difficult part in this entire journey of the start of kickoff up until now, reaching qualification? What do you think was the hardest part of just having to go through this process?
I think that the toughest part was like we are like trying to test like our new compositions and all that, and we are going to like in the practice we are going sometimes we went really bad, you know. So the thing that was really hard for us like to focus and then remember that it's our long term, we are aiming champions, you know. So if we practice and the other teams since tier 2 or 3 win against us on practice like if large scores, we didn't need to like to mind about that. So like trust the process. It's about this, you know. We need to lose a lot so we can stress a lot of our compositions, our strats. So somehow we are going to like learn more about these mistakes than being like forced to change. Like for example, Uh, if we losing the practice, we could see like, oh, this competition doesn't work. But we saw like, okay, if you're not working right now in the kickoff, you can lose. Doesn't matter. Let's focus in like first Americas and then like tournament by tournament. So about improving, not the winning the matches. So it's about that.
Yeah, and one of the interesting components when it comes to looking at this team at the start of this year was due to the fact that you guys bringing in a new duelist in Quick as a replacement for Aspas, and you talked a little bit about how there was a pretty different set of expectations for this team due to that change in lineup. Now with this team qualifying for Madrid and just staying on top of VCT Americas and how difficult of a league it is, how do you think the team's performance has changed the public's perception of Loud at this moment in time?
I feel like once we lost Aspas, that I think that probably could be the best player in the world. Like he's individually really good. And then our past team, like we kind of built the team around him, so we are going to make a lot of plays so he can get more kills. Because about that, if you have a star player in the team, you need to play around him so he can like get the kills and make the round more easy. And like having Kisike right now, he's a guy like is more flexible. He's a guy that can work with the team. Like for example, he's not a star player. He can be like our interfagger, so gain space for us, like playing good on the post play situations and like make time, all of that. So that's I think that's the most different stuff between them. So I'm really happy that Kiske adapted real quick because it was like kind of difficult for him in the beginning. Uh, since he was like a duelist in 2021 or 22, I don't remember the year. But he was playing like sentinel and controller. So you like leave this kind of position on the team in being a duelist that we're going to like have more fights and all about that. So I'm really happy that he's developing real quick and think that for the next tournaments we are going to like learn more about our his gameplay style, our gameplay style. So the future is like looks bright for us.
Yeah, and of course, and hopefully continue to stay bright once you guys then play in Spain later on in the future. So, SDK, once again, thank you so much for taking the time and just answering all my questions for this interview. I really appreciate it. Congrats once again on qualifying to Madrid, and best of luck to the future.
Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your time. Like I'm really happy to be here. So see you next and go loud.